Hi, everybody. I'm Bhuvaneswar. I'm from the 1972 BTech batch of Electrical Engineering Electronics. My nickname, very odd one, is Boobs. I was doing my pre-university at the Bangalore University in Bangalore in 1966-67 when my uncle introduced me to the courses at IIT Madras. He sent me a copy of the advertisement in the Hindu and suggested that I should do it. Though in fact, in my family at Bangalore and many of my friends were unaware of that we had a national institute like IIT Madras was there, or other IITs in India. We were all unaware of it. But since I'm one of the first engineering graduates from my family, or rather a person to take interest in engineering, it was a bit of a challenge because there was some uneasiness. Particularly, my father was not very happy in me moving into engineering. But anyway, I said, let me write the entrance exam and see how it goes. So I bought a guidebook. I remember I was not aware of any coaching classes in those days. The problems I had was there were a lot of subjects, particularly in physics, in the areas of sound and maths also, which were not part of our pre-university syllabus. So I had to make up for those gaps in my pre-university training. So I went through this Agarwal, I think it's the Agarwal guidebook. So I used that to solve many of the example problems given and learn about various aspects like compound maths and so on. In some of the areas in physics, which was not there. The entrance exam itself was definitely difficult. Particularly the chemistry was extremely highly out of syllabus for many of the things, but I did manage through and I got a decent rank. In those days, we used to have a South Zone rank. And if I remember right, I was 287 in the South Zone rank, which enabled me to get into electronics, which was then the favorite branch for most people. Then my favorite memories are, first year we had a 5-year BTech, so I think you should all remember. And then first year, we used to have alternate weeks of 5 days of workshop. And then the next week we had 5 days of classes. Saturdays morning were drawing. And I used to love the workshop week because I didn't have to sit and study. I liked working with my hands, and I also liked drawing a lot. So not surprisingly, the final exams, I did very well. The third year, I think the other memory I have is the switch from the annual program to the semester system. And I think that the third year, that semester system suited me very well. And the third year onwards, I did very well at IIT Madras and also in electronics. Some of my favorite teachers, of course, we had Professor Shankaran was teaching us in electrical measurements. I remember his classes very well. Then Professor Anthony Reddy, who taught us electronics, and many others, of course. But I liked all my subjects, and favorite spot at IIT, I'm not sure. The Gajendra Circle was definitely evenings. We all used to go and after dinner walk there. OIT, of course, was one of the favorite Saturday night movies. And what else is their favorite spots that I do remember? And then we had that old knick-knack restaurant where we used to in between go and have some tea or coffee, and he used to make some nice vegetable cutlets in those days. In terms of impact, I think IIT Madras, what I learned in my BTech, I used extremely well in my career. Since I went into design particularly, I did my master's in Biomedical Engineering at IIT Madras from 1973 to 75. I was working on an artificial hand prosthesis. So a lot of the engineering I learned, including my workshop training, drawings, some of the aspects of materials that we learned. So not just electronics, which of course electronics I used to design my circuits, control circuits, but almost all the branches of engineering that I learned during my 5-year term, I think I used in my career. Later, I joined the Sree Tirunal Institute of Medical Science and Technology in Trivandrum, where I was working on artificial heart valve, followed by what we call a membrane oxygenator, which is part of the heart-lung machine. And many of the topics that I used, but that we learned basically like applied mechanics, applied thermodynamics, though not directly from the branch, they were greatly useful to me in designing these devices. So overall, I think IIT did sort of mold my life into a rounded career, particularly which my interests were in engineering design, and I think that it made a great impact. So a lot of what I did post IIT was, of course, what I learned at IIT. So the training was great. I liked the 5-year period because I think that was more easier than this 4-year terms now. I liked all the hands-on work we did, both in the labs and in the workshops. Thank you.